Okay guys, I have a bit of a confession to make. I did something really stupid. Welcome to part 5 of our Dune Buggy Mirage EFI engine swap. Today we're going to be finishing up making some kind of a bracket for the shifting linkage. I've got our cables that run up from the driver's compartment to the engine in the back. So I've got to drop the engine back in so I can figure out where that needs to be mounted to. And then I've got to fabricate some kind of bracket or something to hold those cables into place so that way I can shift. Also, I want to finish mounting the shifter itself. And then once I get those things into place, we should be able to start working on the engine wiring. Wiring is one of those things that I find very tedious. It's going to have to be done sooner or later, so we might as well just get right into it. I meant to show you guys the shifting boot that I put on here. So I took the old boot off the previous shifter, but what I did, I just used some glue and I glued it around the base. And then this outer portion here, dropped a socket down in there, and then I put a zip tie around and snugged it down. It just needs to be held in place because it's going to be loose anyway when I shift. I would have used the old shift lever if it had the same size nut, but then of course I wouldn't have had this nice gear mapping because the old transmission was only 4-speed and the new transmission's a 5-speed. Okay, I've got it bolted, and you can see this does give us our throw from top to bottom. No issues there. Now, the reason why I'm not too concerned about the shifting on its own under torque is because we've got this mounting plate here. So essentially this is all connected in one solid piece. So the only thing that should and will move would be the whole bracket as a complete system. Alright, so I've got my shift lever just kind of mocked into place here. This is just for positioning it. It's not really secure, but I'm going to put both shift linkages on. So I was afraid of this. I was afraid that the battery box would be in the way, and you can see it's colliding right here. So I was hoping I would have enough length to bring it up under the battery box, but then it would be in the way of my clutch lever. Alright, so I've measured the length on these cables. The vertical cable needs about, I measured between 2.8 and 3 inches worth of additional cable, and the actual shift side I think is okay. Let me show you the shift linkage. Now, even though the length on the other side, the actual shift in and out of gear is okay, see the length comes up from the bottom, and I can make that work. That's enough length. But the problem is that what a steep angle when I've got this coming up from underneath is to this little ball pin here that it attaches to. You can see the extreme angle there. What I'm probably going to do is just put a cut here, and then I will rotate this ball down at, I don't know, maybe 35 degrees down from where it's at. Okay, new plan. Instead of removing the battery box entirely, I'm actually thinking about somehow utilizing the battery box for these mounts. This is the original bracket. I'll probably cut these pieces off that hold it and somehow probably just weld that into place there, and then weld one back into place over here. Oh, guys, I just made a huge mistake. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The way that this is set up, The shift lever normally is coming in from the back side of the engine because it's a front wheel drive car. The engine sits in front of the shifter. So because we were relocating that shifter to now the other side of the engine, what I needed to do was I needed to reverse all of the controls to the shift linkage, because otherwise if they're coming in from the opposite direction, everything would be reversed once we spun it around. However, even though that's pretty sound thinking, there's one major detail that I neglected to take into account. So the way that this is sitting now in the buggy is all fine and dandy, because normally that would be first, second, third, fourth, fifth. However, this is not how the shift linkage sits in the vehicle. Let me show you how it sits in the vehicle. This is how the shift linkage sits in the vehicle. The cables come off the top of the lever and into the back of the engine. So if you look at our shift pattern here, this isn't right. This is right. That is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. Yeah, so I put the shift linkage in backwards. So even though we're coming into the other side of the engine with the two shift linkage, the shifter itself is in a reverse position, which means had I left it alone, everything would have functioned normally. Which means, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go ahead and undo everything that's already been done. So let's stop wasting time, let's get right into this thing. Okay, so here's the progress I've made. I swung this back around to its original position. You can see it's been cut and re-welded here. I finished putting this together. This will get mounted like so, right there. So we can get our vertical actuation working. And now, it's just a matter of figuring out how to mount these two brackets now with this reversed, and I'm probably going to have to extend one of these arms. Alright, now I can also test fit our shift knob. Ooh. Shorter than I had anticipated. Ooh. Okay, talk about short shifter. That thing's pretty short. Okay. I could have cut this boot in half and still used it. Oh, that's alright. That's just perfect. But I really want this, all of this linkage under here to be enclosed, so sand and grime and stuff doesn't get into these. I'm sure if I could find like a arts and crafts store or something, I could buy a piece of vinyl and maybe just sew it onto the bottom here. Whee! A couple things I'm going to have to change. Obviously I had to cut out this portion here for the battery. The battery is going to sit further over this way, so I've just got to weld in another piece of metal here to seal the battery box in. Then I'll clean all this up, I'll paint it. Now the other thing I'm going to do is we're using a hydraulic clutch. I'm not going to go back to a cable clutch system. I was going to put it on the other engine, but I decided to do the engine swap first before the hydraulic clutch goes in. And obviously with these shift cables coming up through this compartment here, I'm going to have to move this arm for the clutch. So what I'll do is I'll put a split in this, I'll angle this down 30 or 40 degrees, and then I'll actually mount the hydraulic clutch over here. But I do want to measure that, so let me grab the hydraulic clutch. Alright, so here we've got our hydraulic clutch. This stuff I haven't even opened. I got this a few months back for the other engine. So we've got some fittings, the hydraulic lines, a small heim joint that I'll use. Oh yeah, crush washers. Ooh, pretty. This is the Speedway. These are whole kits that you can order directly from Speedway, and they're very reasonably priced for what you get. Let's see what we got here. Ooh, nice. So we've got our clutch pedal. And this must be our master cylinder. How do you open this darn thing? Oh, it's idiot proof, apparently. Okay, so we've got our master cylinder. Nice. All right, sweet. So this is gonna sit approximately right there. All right, guys, so what I've done here is I've mapped out, I've drawn a little diagram here of how I need to cut this. So we're gonna get to cutting and getting this thing into place. Oh yeah. Perfect. This is going to go just like that. Perfect. Get it done. See how our shifter's still working now that I'm done messing with the battery box. Neutral. First. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Reverse. Beautiful. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Reverse. All right. Beautiful. Woo! Love it when a plan comes together. So I think we've got our clutch slave cylinder mounted right into place here. There's some good clearance behind the engine mounting bracket there, so there's no colliding. So this thing should shift really well with the hydraulic clutch. If you guys weren't sure, previously it had a shifter cable. So the cable that I was using was like a 65-inch cable. It was really long, and it was actually having to loop out back around the side here and then all the way to the... So the thing never really had a good clutch feel to it. So I'm super excited that we're gonna get switched over to the hydraulic clutch here. Also be doing a review of this Speedway hydraulic clutch system. Once we get the buggy up and running, I will put together a video on that. Well guys, that is all the time that we have for part 5 of our engine swap series. I know that I keep saying I'm hoping to get into the electrical and the wiring each episode, and I promise I would have gotten into the electrical had I not wasting all that time on the shifter linkage. So that really set me back almost a full day, about 8 hours worth of work. So in part 6, we will definitely be venturing into the electrical side of things. So I actually got a pretty good amount of stuff done considering I had to backtrack quite a bit. We've got our shift linkage in position, the shifter's working great, all linkages are set up, I can take both cables in and out as I want, and I was able to get our clutch master cylinder installed. If you haven't done so already, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button. Even if you're not really into the build side of things, you're going to want to see the very first time I take this thing out on the trails, because I don't know what's going to happen. And I promise I'm not going to fake it. There's not going to be any test runs done before you guys get to hit the trails with me. The very first time this thing goes out on the trail, whether it catches fire, whether I blow up the axles, the transmission, I blow the tires off, whatever happens, you guys are going to be on board for the very first drive. So you're going to want to subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching Dirt Gear TV, and I will see you guys in episode 6. Man, so I get up this morning, I open my garage door, and I realized I had an oil leak from this oil pan. It leaked all down the side here and out the bottom of my garage door. So I'm standing outside here, and I feel this, I'm looking at the oil on the floor, and I feel this drip, 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 drip on the back of my head, in my hair, and I'm thinking, man, it must have rained last night. I've got water coming down, I've got oil all over the floor. And then I realized I was standing underneath the corner of the garage door, and it was not water.